Hey guys, what's up? How's it going here? Welcome back to another episode of This Week in Hearthstone. Welcome, guys. This is a little bit late, as you guys know. If you guys didn't know, BlizzCon 2019 was this weekend, and we decided to push back Thursday's episode to a Friday recording date for the episode. A little bit different format today. We will not be going over any of the past news for the week, like the Vicious Syndicate or the Tavern Brawl or anything. This episode is just going to fully be diving into what was talked about and discussed with Hearthstone, etc. So keep that in mind that this is not your usual typical episode for BlizzCon. But yeah, let's just jump right into it. For this. So, BlizzCon 2019 started this morning. There was an opening ceremony where they discussed many things, and we got some pretty interesting news from both sides of things. And I hope that these things are pretty interesting to you. Seems pretty interesting to me as well. Hearthstone, I will admit, got kind of some pretty cool and interesting things. There's two big announcements that were announced for Hearthstone. So let's just jump into the first one. We have decided to split these into two different sections though. So first up is that, of course, a Hearthstone expansion was announced. The last expansion of the Year of the Dragon. Remember that this year they did a 3-part series with the expansions, and this is the final expansion as well for the Year of the Dragon. This is called Descent of Dragons. Very fitting for the Year of the Dragon that we'd have something about the about dragons and be following that. If you guys want to check out your show notes as well, we are currently playing a little trailer for the cinematic for the new expansion. This expansion will be released on December 11th of this year of 2019, with an adventure releasing sometime in January. So keep that in mind as well. But yeah, so this is going to be the last expansion for the Year of the Dragon. We have a ton of cards, way too many for us to kind of go over this time around when it comes to it, but I would definitely recommend to go check out our show notes. We linked you a Hearthstone guide on everything that was talked about and released for this expansion. Kind of some stuff that we should also mention as well with this expansion is that there are 2 pre-purchases available for this expansion. Of course, everyone hates the loot boxes, everyone hates the microtransactions, but there are some pre-purchase bundles as well that we should talk about. Once again, I am not sponsored by Blizzard at any point. I am not getting any commission for these. I'm purely just telling you guys what are in these expansion bundles. So, we have 2 expansion bundles. One of them cost $49.99. The other one cost $79.99. The $49.99 one will come, which is $50, and this is all in USD currency, by the way, will come with 60 packs of the new Descent of Dragons card packs. It will come with a Shattering card back. It will come with a random golden legendary card, and it will give you early access to something called Battlegrounds game mode, which we will get into here in just a little bit on what that is. The second bundle is $80, and it comes with 100 card packs. It comes with the card back as well. It comes with a random Descent of Dragons golden legendary card, and it also comes with a Deathwing warrior hero, which looks pretty cool, as well as access to the Battlegrounds game mode. So keep that in mind as well. Another thing that has been announced is that kind of the new mechanic in this game is a hero called Galkrond, which is a card that has a thing called Invoke. Invoke seems to be very reminiscent of Cthulhu, where when you played a Cthulhu type of card, it would buff your Cthulhu no matter where you were in your deck. It would buff it. That's kind of how this is. So there will be a lot of Galkrond decks coming up for sure. You play a card with Invoke, and it says that if you invoke twice, it upgrades the hero card. So it will upgrade Galkrond a lot. It seems like he can be upgraded up to 3 times, depending on which one you have. Now, what do I mean by which one? Well, there's actually going to be 5 Galkronds for this expansion. So there'll be 5 different legendaries for 5 different classes, all go wrong. They all do different types of things depending on their hero power, depending on how they're upgraded with the invoke, etc., etc., etc. Now, good thing with this is that all 5 of the collectible Galranked cards, which is 5 legendary cards, they will be gifted to everyone who logs into Hearthstone for a short period of time after the expansion releases. So think of this as when we first got Whispers of the Old Gods and we were given Cthulhu as well as 2 Cthulhu cards to buff Cthulhu as well. It's the same concept, except this time we will be getting all 5 legendaries for all 5 of the heroes. So I think that's really gracious of Hearthstone to do. Remember that Hearthstone has been kind of on a steady decline for a while now, at least from the numbers and interest from it, just because it's an old game. So they're trying their best to draw in as many things as possible. This is one of them, that they will be giving out all 5 free legendaries from this as well. So, what also is this? What also is in there here as well? Well, there are things called Dragon Breath cards. Dragon Breath cards are spells that give you powerful bonuses if you're holding a dragon. So these are just spell cards where if you're holding a dragon, like some of the other mechanics we've had in the past in Hearthstone, if you're holding a dragon or if you're holding a dragon, you play this card, give it taunt and +1 health or whatever it might be, right? We've had those cards in the past. They've actually named it into a keyword though and called them Dragon Breath cards. If you're holding a dragon in your hand and you play this spell, it will do something and activate this. Also, side quests. What are they? So there are side quests for Mage, Druid, Hunter, Paladin, and they can do side quests. They are cards that offer powerful rewards but are easier to complete than standard quest cards. We don't really have any information about these side quests. Do they start in your hand? I'm not too sure. They are cheaper though and a lot less expensive to craft the said cards though. So keep that in mind, which is pretty cool. They also cost 1 mana as well. For example, Hunter will come with an epic card called Toxic Reinforcements that cost 1 mana. It has the text that says, side quest, use your hero power 3 times. Your reward, you summon 3 1/1 leper gnomes. Stuff like that, that's simpler quests that you'll be able to complete and, really get to easily. Mage has a quest that's 1 mana called Learn Dragonotic. It's a side quest. It says spend 8 mana on spells, summon a 6/6 dragon. So they're little side quests, little mini quests that you can do in combination with the quests that are already in the game, where if you complete them, they might help you do some little bonuses as well. If these side quests as well start in your hand, man, it's gonna be really weird, really, really weird. In Wild playing all these cards as well. We're not sure if a side quest and a main quest can be played at the same time as well. That's something that we're going to have to see and kind of look into as well. So that is basically it or whatever. So everyone will get Gronk for free when the set launches, and everyone gets a legendary dragon when the set launches as well. So I think that's pretty cool that's going to be released. Once again, December 11th is that release date for that expansion, with the adventure releasing sometime in January. Keep in mind that you probably will want to pre-order, and we'll get to why next. So, the next announcement that we have from Hearthstone is actually something that's pretty crazy and something that's pretty unique that that was announced or whatever. For the first time ever, Hearthstone had another announcement after the initial expansion announcement. And what was it, may you ask? Well, it was actually a fully new fleshed out game mode called Battlegrounds, which is pretty interesting to see. If you guys don't know, they added a new mode called Battlegrounds. Like I said, it will be within the game. It will be pretty, I don't want to say unique, but it is a different way to play the game. So game modes will be accessed from where the arena button used to be. That will have a button that says other game modes. When you click on it, you will be able to join a game mode, and you can choose from either arena or you can choose from this called Battlegrounds. Now, what is Battlegrounds exactly? What is the pricing model, etc.? Just to get started really quickly, the pricing model for Battlegrounds is going to be totally free. This is totally free. You won't have to worry about paying. It's not going to be like Arena where you have to pay 150 gold per run or try to go infinite. This mode will be entirely free to utilize, etc., etc. So keep that in mind as well as we discuss this, which in my opinion is pretty neat, in my opinion. So what is Battlegrounds though exactly? Well, it is going to be an officially new game mode within Hearthstone that is going to have long-term support from Hearthstone itself. Like Arena, like Standard, like Wild, it will be a mode where you need to balance the cards out, where they will have rotating sets possibly, or just random little things as well. Definitely Battlegrounds, and it is no surprise, is because they literally talked about this on stage during the What's Next in Hearthstone. Battlegrounds is literally their Blizzard's version, or I should say Hearthstone's version of auto chess. Auto chess, if you guys don't know, is a game where you verse 8 people, and in a grid-like, usually 3D type of system, you roll for like little units, you put them on the board, they have 3D models, and you fight each other. This is going to be, though, in Hearthstone, so it's not going to be on a 3D board. It is going to be on a normal, regular game board. So keep that in mind. Once again, before we continue on with this, highly recommend to check out your show notes or check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/shigeostwitchtv, to be able to see visually what this all is going to look like. So, this is an 8-player free-for-all. They have confirmed that you will be able to play with a friend. Very disappointed in this, first off, I want to say. The reason why I like games such as Teamfight Tactics or Dota Underlords is because of the social features that are in it. One of the funnest things, in my opinion, is being able to play TFT or playing any of these type of auto chess games with like 3 to 4 friends. They have confirmed that you will be able to play with a friend, though, as in you'll be able to invite him in or her in, but that's it. You're not going to be able to party up and invite multiple people. Already, I think that's a limitation to the Hearthstone game itself, but I find that kind of, in my opinion, rather disappointing. Right now, we're kind of showing you some screenshots on stream. And for audio listeners, I will try to explain it as best as possible. But once again, like I said, very hard. Please go check out the VOD and stuff. So as you can see here, it's a normal type of game board. This is what the game board is going to look like when you are not in combat or fighting someone, basically. This is what it's going to look like when you're kind of in your buying phase. There'll be a timer over here with a rope ticking down here of what you can buy. As you can see here, one of the differences with this game, which will be interesting to see how this works, is there's no need to worry about economy. There's no need to worry about increasing gold or going on win streaks or lose streaks. Those don't exist in this game mode, which is something that is in other auto chess game modes. I'm going to try to best to explain it to people who may or may not know auto chess, but in those type of auto chess games, depending on if you win or lose in multiple times in a row, you may get more gold or more currency to be able to spend on units. In Hearthstone Battlegrounds, there is no economy. Doesn't matter if you win, doesn't matter if you lose. If you win, you will see like a little flame next to your name that's like kind of shows off that you're on a win streak and you're doing really well. But it will use gold or kind of like a mana system. So every turn or every round, you will get 1 currency up to a max of 10. So, what do we have over here? So over here, we have a listing of all the other 8 players. There is this little square here that is kind of jutted out. That is your opponent and who you're going to be fighting. When you go over your opponent or hover over a screen, it will tell you kind of some stats about him, what he's running in general, kind of if he's been winning or losing, that type of stuff as well. Over here, we have Bartender Bob, and we have some interesting and unique things that we can do with him. As you can see here, we can spend 5 gold to level up Bartender Bob, which will make it so that his shop will have more rare units. We also have a refresh button. This costs 1 gold to be able to reset the units that are here. When we upgrade Bartender Bob, the rarity of the units will increase, as well as how many units you can purchase from him increase. Remember that in this game mode, Bartender Bob does not level up on his own from what we've seen through gameplay. This could be something that's changed, but from what I recall and saw, this is not a factor. So you will need to spend gold. You will have to take some turns to not be able to to gain more minions, but to level him up. He doesn't level up automatically throughout the game. In Teamfight Tactics, what will happen is your character has a level themselves, and every time they win a round or lose a round, they gain 2 XP. You can spend gold to level yourself up so that you can put an additional unit down. For this, though, no leveling in this game, so keep that in mind as well. You will have to spend gold to level them up. Now, these units are all considered 1 gold. So, if I were to go and buy this Murloc Tidehunter, I would click it, drag it to my portrait here, and it would cost 1 gold. I could then just play him. After they are on the board as well, I can't put them back in my hand, but what you can do is drag them to Bartender Bob and be able to sell them back for a full refund. So keep that in mind as well. So, yeah, so then what ends up happening, there's also a couple side notes. When you get 3 times of the same minion, it upgrades them into a more powerful minion that is golden. That is basically all that is there or whatever. The upgrades for the Tavern go up to level 6, and that's really about it for upgrading him as well. Another unique thing about this game mode is that at the start of the game, you will have a choice of 1 of 3 heroes. Each of them has a unique hero power right here. From what early testers have said at BlizzCon, the hero power seems pretty useless or seems pretty strong at the beginning and then kind of falls off in late game. So there is already some RNG, like we said, with this hero. So you're not going to be using, these are unique Tavern Hearthstone Battleground heroes. Nefarian, there's some people from Blast from the Past from other dungeon crawlers and stuff like that as well. So keep that in mind. So yeah, once this timer goes down, the board state will kind of flip and you will be in what is combat mode. Your opponent's minions will appear, your minions will appear. Now, in this battle phase mode, your leftmost minion will always attack. Now, what's it going to attack? See, this is one of the interesting things, and I don't know if this is because we are playing a game like Hearthstone where it's a board state instead of a 3D visual playing field, but this does feel a little bit more RNG heavy, in my opinion, initially. So, your leftmost minion will always attack first, so there is some type of positioning involved. What he will attack is totally random, though, every single time. And then from there, their leftmost minion will attack. So if you attack with your leftmost minion first, then they'll attack with their leftmost minion first, right? And then from there, it kind of goes boom, 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 right? All the minions will start attacking randomly as well. There are some counterpoints here, though, just to keep in mind. If there is a taunt minion in the way, then the minion that is the, or all minions in general, will always attack that taunt minion. So, for example, with this board state, we have a Void Lord here. It is the leftmost minion. As you can see, it is highlighted red, as in it is going to auto attack. Now, it's not going to attack one of these random minions. It is going to attack one of these randomly Sneed's Old Shredders. So keep that in mind. So already we've seen that taunts are very powerful in this game. We've also seen that poison is extremely powerful in this game, as well as Divine Shield is very powerful in this game as well. We don't know. There is a gallery with how many cards are in there. I haven't actually looked to see how many cards are in that gallery, but we do have some random cards from Wild. We do have some random cards not from Wild. It doesn't really seem like the set has some type of theme. We haven't heard anything beyond like any type of updates, how often this mode will be updated, if tweaks and changes will be happening to cards just in this mode. We're not really sure. I highly doubt that a card will be nerfed in this mode. Just by itself, though. But I do see it being rotated out like a arena or something like that, maybe where expansions or certain themes of the sets will be rotated out. Very interesting that they didn't go with like a dragon theme for this. Combat will happen, and at the end of it, whoever is standing, damage will be dealt. Now, how does damage work in this game? It is true damage. You all start at 40 health, by the way, so the games will go a little bit faster. People are reporting that games are done in about 15 to 20 minutes as well, by the way. So these are all 1-star units. Your character always does 1 damage. So let's say this was his board. He just won, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 damage will be done directly to your face. So depending on how the cost or star level of these units are as well, it depends on how much damage. Late game and mid game, it seems that there's like some crazy damage. I saw some people doing 25, 30 damage sometimes in one type of go. So this is the new mode in this game, which is very, very interesting or whatever. And then also over here, players are ranked by health, so you kind of know how this works. So what else about this game? It will have a MMR system, some type of MMR system to begin with. Once the game is released, which we'll get to release dates in a second here. You will start with a certain number. If you get top 4, you will obviously go up in ranking numbers, which I believe the counts were set at 3,500 or something like that at the demo stations. If you go from 5 to 8, you will lose MMR. So there's no type of angry chicken or any type of rank. It's not tied to normal, standard, or wild. It has its own type of system. They've already announced that there is no casual play for this. You will always be playing in some type of ranked MMR type of visible system as well as once the game is released, there will be an hourly updated leaderboard of the top 1,000 players in every single region. Not really sure if this is going to start with seasons or how this is going to work. We're not sure, right? This is a totally free mode, which is kind of interesting. So we don't know if you get a win in this game, if you get top 4, does that mean you get 10 gold? I don't know. If you win 5 of these matches, do you get a card back for Hearthstone? I don't know. We don't really have those details yet of how this is going to incorporate into the main game. If I was somebody who was just playing this mode and nothing else in Hearthstone, how would I get rewarded? A couple other things that they showed off too. They showed off new visual emotes that are just within this game mode as well. And the way that these emotes are going to be unlocked, and I know some people are not going to really like this or whatever, is that it depends on how many packs of the latest expansion you've personally bought. So they kind of went over this like very, very briefly or whatever. But the way that it's going to work is that it's not like a battle pass, but basically if you've owned about 10 packs, you will unlock certain things. If you have opened up 20 packs of the latest expansion, so remember this is going to change every single time, then you will get more of something else. And if you get 30 packs, or if you have opened 30 packs of the latest expansion, you will get more visual emotes or stuff like that. So that's how this mode's going to work when it comes to unlocking type of stuff. But from what I understand, it's not going to give like any type of like strategical advantage to you. But that could change. We'll see. So, when does this mode actually release? Well, surprisingly, this mode is releasing pretty soon. So I'm actually pretty interested to see. Already, some initial reviews of this, though, say that this mode is kind of crazy and kind of hectic as well, though. So we'll see how long I personally stay with this mode. But yeah, if you basically 3 ways of getting in early. So, first of all, closed beta starts on November 5th of this year and will go until November 12th. So that's very, very soon. We are recording this right now on Friday, November 1st. So in 4 days, on Tuesday, November 5th, this mode will be launched in closed beta. Once again, how do we get into closed beta? Well, 3 ways. 1, you attended BlizzCon 2019. You were physically there. You bought a ticket. 2, you bought a virtual ticket, which is, I believe you can still buy them. I think they're $50 or something like that. The virtual ticket gets you access to all the BlizzCon like panels and stuff, and you can watch them online. So you've bought in one of those, you will get access to this. Or 3, you pre-ordered the latest expansion of Hearthstone. That is how you get into this expansion early, from November 5th to November 12th, which gets you about a week in early. If not, though, if you don't have any of those means or don't want to spend any of those means, the game will come out publicly November 12th for everyone to play. Once again, this is a totally free mode that I'd like to emphasize. It is totally free. You don't need to buy anything or worry to spend any type of currency or anything like that, like in Arena. So yeah, this is a free-to-play mode. Pretty exciting. Now, what are my initial thoughts on it? I should also say, before we get into my initial thoughts on it, I do want to say as well, I will be streaming this live starting on November 5th. We have a lot of games coming out in the next couple of weeks that I definitely want to be playing on and off stream. One of them now is going to be this. We also have TFT's new season coming out as well on the 7th. We also have Pokemon Sword and Shield coming out on the 15th. But we are going to be streaming this on November 5th just to check it out, a few days before the TFT launch because, why not try it out or whatever. So if you guys want to check that out, twitch.tv/ryankubo, highly suggest to go and watch that and go see how that is. But yeah, so what are my initial thoughts with this? To be honest, I'm slightly disappointed, but I'm willing to try it out, and hopefully that Hearthstone changes my mind and Blizzard changes my mind. I was hoping that a auto chess game would be announced at BlizzCon this year, but I was hoping that it would not be in a different game. I made jokes that it might be in Heroes of the Storm or something like that, but I didn't actually think that it would be in Hearthstone. I was hoping that it would be a separate client, a separate game, or something like that, and kind of traditionally what it was in TFT. I'm kind of sad about this because I was hoping for something like legitimately a auto chess game competitor to TFT, and this just doesn't look like it. From the gameplay footage that I've seen, it seems like the cards are hitting way too randomly, in my opinion. This might just be more noticeable because we are on a card board state instead of a 3D plane or whatever, like we are in TFT or whatever. But there's that. There's also the limitations of not having to worry about econ and stuff like that as well, and not having to worry about like your gold count and just kind of playing stuff. And the game seems really, really swingy as well. I totally understand the reasoning though why they decided to put this game into into Hearthstone. It's because they want to draw back in the TFT crowd or the auto chess crowd that might have been leaving Hearthstone. But also I feel that if they made a game outside of Hearthstone that was a auto chess game, their own auto chess game that they were to make in a separate client would be eating itself and cannibalizing its own player base. So I get that as well. Overall, though, I do feel, and the way that this mode looks like, to me, it just reminds me of an extended Tavern Brawl. Maybe a little bit more of a fleshed out Tavern Brawl or whatever. They actually did say during the panel that this idea came out as a Tavern Brawl, and they decided to expand upon it as well. Once again, I'm pretty disappointed because I know that this is going to be their version of auto chess, and that it is just going to be in Hearthstone and not in some type of separate client. I wish that it would be in a different client and stuff like that as well, and just have like full-fledged support and have characters from all of Blizzard instead of it just being Hearthstone. But once again, I will be streaming it, I will be trying out, and it's something that, like I said, I would love Blizzard to prove me wrong and for me to be really, really like this game. To me, though, it just reminds me of a Tavern Brawl of some sort, though, right? Anyway, guys, that is going to be it for this week in Hearthstone. Like I said, once again, check me out on twitch.tv/ryankubo if you want to check out me streaming on November 5th, and we can check out everything that is that has to do with Hearthstone Battlegrounds as well. But next week, guys, we will be back on Thursday. Probably give you my initial impressions of Hearthstone Battlegrounds and whatever news and cards leak, on the way as well. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. Thanks, guys, so much for hanging out. And until next week, take care.